Hey, everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co host, and partner in all things crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. I feel like we were just here.
Because we were. Yeah, we were. We have 3 shows today, which is kind of weird, but that's because we kind of flaked out yesterday.
It's a true
So
crime all the time day. Yeah, but that's
it
okay.
is. But, it's summer, and so we just fit it in where we can fit it in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've
We're
had all
always
my
much more
kids home.
consistent in the cold
Yeah,
weather months than we are in the warm ones.
right. But that's because our schedules are more consistent. Yeah,
Yeah.
where I've had all my kids home and so much happening, and you've been doing your thing too. And ugh,
Yeah, just
ugh.
lots to do. But we're here.
We're
We are
here.
here. This is a true crime roundup, so you know how this works. We pick a bunch of cases that don't necessarily need an entire episode, but definitely need some attention. We have 5 of those today.
Yeah.
So, Katie, you are going to kick us off with some racial injustice.
Yes. I want to tell you what happened to Jadarrius Rose.
Mm.
This was in Ohio on the 4th of July. And Jadarrius was driving a semi and was being pulled over by like the road patrol there, like the ones that check your truck and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And for whatever reason, initially he didn't notice that he was being pulled over. He blew through a checkpoint and they tried to pull him over. He apparently didn't notice. And then when he did, they had like more than them. There were several cops behind him. And he was surprised and shocked and he didn't know why and he got scared. Now, listen, I'm not justifying what Jadarrius did. He probably shouldn't be driving a truck, honestly. Uh, he didn't handle this particularly well and maybe shouldn't be there, but it just doesn't justify what happened to him. So he
No.
got scared and he called 911 and he said, I'm getting pulled over. I don't know why. I'm scared and I don't know what's happening. And so, literally, 911 gets him on the phone with one of the state police officers, and he's talking to him, telling him what to do. They actually deployed road strips 2 times. So, like, this went on for a hot minute before he
Mhm.
finally pulled over. But he's talking to a deputy who basically Jadarrius got scared because of how often black men don't fare well in traffic incidences,
Right?
and
They
he was
get killed
scared.
all the time by the police.
He was scared for his
Sadly, way more
life.
than ever should happen.
Yeah, and wanted to know that he was gonna be okay. And so, he has on the phone with a trooper who's telling him, "Listen, we need to sort out what's going on here. You need to pull over and get out of the truck so that we can do that." Well, by this time, some of the local police had joined into the chase from the Circleville, Ohio Police Department. So
Mhm.
by the time Jadarrius gets out of the truck, and he gets out with his hands above his head exactly as he's being instructed to do. He's doing exactly what the 911 operator who patched him through to the state police are telling him to do. He gets out of the
Mhm.
truck, he has his hands up. Well, so that should have been it. They should have been able to arrest him then, sort it all out, probably get a ticket at least, for his actions there. But that would have been it, right? Well, no. Because Ryan Speakman, who was a police officer for the Circleville Police, had a canine unit there and had the dog leashed, but was lunging and barking. And Jadarrius was rightfully afraid of that.
Sure.
And he was being told to stand down repeatedly by the state police. Do not release the canine. Do not release the canine. There is a video of this actually from Best Footage online. I'm not going to play it
Mm.
here because I don't want to get kicked off YouTube, but
Mm.
it's awful. And he's being
Mm.
told repeatedly, do not release the canine. So what does Ryan Speakman do? Well, you probably guessed it. He releases the canine, who attacks Jadarrius
Jesus.
and mauls him. and gives him some pretty good bites before they manage to drag the dog off of him and get control of him and take him into custody. What the hell? He didn't deserve that. He
No,
wasn't in a
God.
position to do that. Speakman was told repeatedly not to do it, and he just went ahead and said, fuck you, and did it anyway.
That's terrifying. It's
Yeah.
terrifying. He wasn't serving, he was not a threat to anyone. What was the purpose of the dog? He stopped and got out of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to arrest him, they surely could have, but
His hands were over his head. He was surrendering. He did not have a weapon. Why in the world would you turn your dog on him?
right,
Especially while he was being told specifically not to do so.
right.
Uh, he played out the exact stereotype that Jadarrius was scared of, the exact
Mhm.
one.
Mm. You
However,
can't say you don't understand when somebody doesn't stop in a situation like that.
yeah,
When a
and
black
in
man
the
in
vest cam
particular.
footage, he's told over and over again, do not release the dog. And just
God.
does it anyway. And caused bodily injury to this man for no reason at all.
Mm.
So initially, he was put on reserve for a few minutes while they investigated it, and they just announced today that he has been fired from the department. So I will say I'm
Exactly what
glad
should
they're
happen.
taking it that seriously. He initially was on paid administrative leave, but hopefully the
What the
police,
hell, man?
yeah. So the police department says Circleville police officer Ryan Speakman's actions during the review of his canine apprehension of suspect Jadarrius Rose on July 4th show that Officer Speakman did not meet the standards and expectations we hold for our police officers. Officer Speakman has been terminated from the department effective immediately.
Mm.
So we don't know
And
what
now
else.
what about assault charges? I mean, come on.
Right, right.
Why why do officers always get a pass on stuff like this?
Yeah, yeah,
That dog could have killed him.
yep,
And for what reason?
absolutely. And it's just pretty sad that Jadarrius called 911 because he did not feel safe and literally told dispatch, I don't feel safe. I don't know what to do. And they're talking him through this. They get him on the phone with somebody. You are safe. We're here. We're going to get this figured out. Just get out of the truck. And they turn a dog on him. I mean, I'll give Circleville Police Department at least the props that they did go ahead and fire him. But damn
Right.
it, this stuff needs to stop.
Right.
I'm speechless yet
You
again at
hire
cases like this.
officers that don't listen to orders.
Mm-hmm.
They're obviously racist assholes,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's so systemic. It's not like, oh, it's just that guy. It's not. It's
It's
so
not.
many officers that do stuff like that because they feel emboldened to.
Yeah.
This this police brutality has been a problem for a long time, but it's not been a problem at the level it is now.
Right.
It's just like he
Right.
literally disregarded an order.
Yeah.
Like
What did
what
he
the fuck, man?
think was going to happen? That's my question.
Yeah.
What did he think was going to happen? I'm guessing nothing. Uh,
Mhm.
did he go home that night and brag and laugh about it? Did he put his
Yeah.
feet up with a beer and chuckle about the way that looked and how that went down and how funny that was?
Probably if he's the kind of person to do what he did.
I hope you're laughing now, Ryan, all the way to the
Yeah.
unemployment line because you're done.
Well, and hopefully jail,
Yeah, hopefully
honestly,
jail.
or sued, or
Maybe
sued.
there'll be a civil suit. There could easily be a civil suit come out of it from Jadarrius Rose and his family. Jadarrius is okay. He was injured, but not terribly so, uh, physically at least. But, and he has to deal with his actions because he did make some terrible decisions right there. But
Right.
again, and this is where I feel like there are really good officers out there. I look at the officers around us and go, we have a lot of really good, solid police officers, and probably some that aren't great too. But we have some excellent police around here, and I look at them and I wonder, how mad do they get at cases like this? that make all of
Hmm.
the police officers look racist, make them all look
Right.
incompetent, make them all look cruel. Everyone needs to speak
When
out
it's
about this kind of stuff. We can't
they
keep having
do.
this.
And that's the problem, I think, is that they don't, and that you don't see officers stopping other officers from doing this kind of shit.
Yeah, well, these
And I
guys
think
tried. They
they
tried.
did, they did, but I mean, I don't know how they physically could have stopped him because of that dog, but
Well, the
in a
thing
lot
that's
of
interesting,
situations, they don't. They
right.
watch.
And the thing that grabs me about it is that Ryan Speakman did it anyway, which tells me that he
Yeah,
didn't think there would be any consequences,
exactly. Yeah, it
you
tells
know?
you there's something deeper in that department.
Absolutely. So,
Man, well, that
anyway,
sucks.
we hope that Jadarrius is okay and that we hope this will stop someday. We're not going to quit talking about it.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to kick the mic back over to you.
Yeah, for some Idaho. You will probably remember this name because this person has been in the news, not now, but had been in the news a whole lot um, at one time a few years ago. This is Bowe Bergdahl.
Yeah.
Bowe Bergdahl is actually from Haley, Idaho, which is not very
Mhm.
far from where we live. And so this
Yeah.
case was like everywhere when it happened. You may remember that Bowe Bergdahl was in the military. He was a U.S. Army soldier,
Yeah.
and um, he he was he went missing for almost 5 years in Afghanistan. And when he was finally rescued, it came out that he had walked away from his designation. I don't know what the
Right.
right word is to his walked away
Abandoned his
from his
post.
command,
Yeah.
abandoned his post, and he was charged with desertion.
Hmm.
This is after nearly 5 years of torture from the Taliban in Afghanistan,
Yeah.
which he managed to survive.
Yeah.
Bo was 23 at the time. He later said that he was trying to get outside of his post because he saw some poor leadership going on in his unit, and he wanted to tell somebody that could tell somebody that could tell somebody. But when that happened, he was actually captured by the Taliban. He was repeatedly tortured and beaten with copper wires, rubber hoses, and rifle butts. He tried to escape several times, and so they imprisoned him in a cage for 4 years. There were some service members who were wounded while searching for him because no one knew where he went.
Yeah.
In 2014, he was returned to the U.S. During a prisoner swap for 5 Taliban leaders that were being held at Guantanamo Bay. Lots of people were critical of the swap and basically said because he walked off his post, we should have just let him get killed by the Taliban, frankly, is what was said.
Oh, lots of rumors and conspiracy theories and lies were told
Yep.
about why he walked off his post and, you
Yeah.
know, basically that he was a traitor that was actually befriending the Taliban and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
was never actually substantiated. But a lot of
No,
people
none of that was ever found
said
to be
things like
true.
that, particularly around here.
Oh,
If you think
yeah.
Idaho supported Bergdahl, they did not.
No.
People around here were
Some of us
unbelievably,
have from the beginning, but
yeah.
yeah,
But as
yeah,
a
people
whole,
have
the
been hideous
populace
about
were
this.
horrible towards him. Yeah.
I'd like to see them at 23 years old on a post in Afghanistan, and then we'll talk, to be
Right.
perfectly honest.
Yeah.
So, what happened is in 2017, he pled guilty to desertion and causing something. Where was that? Anyway, he pled guilty
Mhm.
to what was a court martial.
Yeah.
So something very interesting happened today. Well, he was dishonorably discharged,
Mhm.
and ordered to forfeit $10,000 in pay. Um, his sentence was upheld by a military appeals court. Well, his attorneys took it to U.S. District Court today, and the case that he originally pled guilty to is overturned.
Yep.
Let me tell you why. It was vacated. And that is because U.S. District Judge Reggie Walton from Washington says that the military judge Jeffrey Nance, who presided over Bowe Bergdahl's court martial, failed to disclose that he had applied to the executive branch for a job as an immigration judge, which created a conflict of interest that he shouldn't have been on the case to begin with.
Wow.
Yeah. So his conviction, his military conviction, has been vacated,
Wow.
and I'm happy for him. I hope he's
Oh,
okay. I cannot imagine that he's okay after everything that he's been through, and then his own country went after him the way that they did.
I have always believed Bo and felt
Me
like he
too.
was treated extremely unfairly. The way people around here came at him with, their torches and pitchforks.
Yeah, and it was just bullshit.
Yeah.
People who have certainly never ever been in the position that he was in,
Hmm.
nor have they spent 5 years being tortured by the Taliban. So
Hmm.
I think you should shut up. So if any of you Idahoans want to come after us over this, we don't care.
No.
We support Bowe Bergdahl, and I'm thrilled to see this. I think that it's justice.
Yeah.
I think if he deserved any punishment at all, he certainly got way more from the Taliban than
Hmm.
he deserved. So
And all the years now of
all of
the
this being
treatment that
attacked
he's
by his own
received here in this
country and
country. Yeah.
and in this state, Idaho, just gross.
Honestly,
Just
Bo Bergdahl is one of those makes the cases for me yet again about how our veterans are treated.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not good.
No, because no matter how he got abducted by the Taliban, he's still a U.S. citizen and an American soldier, and they should have been looking for him. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that people were injured, but that's part of being in the military. I mean,
Right.
they should have looked for him no matter what,
Right.
because it's not like he was found on a desert island having a great life,
Right.
you know?
He was found in a cage being
Ridiculous.
tortured. And
Yeah.
yet people still were like, yeah, he left because he was friends with the Talibans. Really? That's how you treat your friends?
Yeah,
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 okay.
that's sure. That's
Sure,
like
Jan.
saying that the five Taliban leaders that we traded for him were, friends of the United States while they were in Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
Gross. Yeah. So before we move on from that, I wanted to talk a little bit about a little product that we have been trying out called Magic Mind.
Yeah.
Magic Mind is a little shot, looks like a green juice shot.
Yep.
It's the green base, of course, is matcha,
Hmm.
and this shot really helps with focus and relaxation,
Yep.
and it's good for your immune system. It's got a lot of really positive properties, and I mean, I will tell you that I have a hell of a time with my focus. And if I, drink a lot of coffee, it helps and gives me more energy through the day. But then I'm jittery focused.
Hmm.
And the thing I've been amazed about with Magic Mind is that I'm not jittery at all. I have more energy. My focus is way better. I can concentrate and do creative things that I need to do and do, like tasks that take a long time. I have no attention
Hmm.
span for stuff like that. But it doesn't mean I don't have to do them.
Right.
And so I really love the energy, focus, and relaxation combo that you get in Magic Mind. It's making a big difference for me. And we've all talked on here about how Katie and I both struggle with some ADD. And I actually got officially diagnosed last week because I feel like it's time I got to deal with this.
Hmm.
So one of the ways I'm dealing with it is Magic Mind, and it's really helping me. So we have some friends over at Magic Mind, and they did give us a discount code for you. So if you just go to magicmind.com/truecrime20, There's different versions of discount there depending on how you purchase. It is one of those subscription things, but you don't have to sign up for the subscription. So you get a discount if you're just buying flat out, or an even better discount if you subscribe. But go check it out, read up on it. Of course, you want to make sure that it's the right thing for you. But I got to tell you, it is definitely the right thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
Oh,
agree,
yeah.
Katie?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been amazed, honestly, and I've tried stuff like this before that I was like, do I feel a difference? Nah.
Hmm.
I've been blowing through my stuff.
I know. I gotta get some more. Gotta get some more.
In fact, I've gotten so many creative projects knocked out that I picked up a new one yesterday because I
That's
always need
saying
something
something
else
if
to
you know
do.
Katie and her constant projects.
Hmm. Uh, but yeah, no, I really like it. The thing that I was really turned off by the color, and matcha I don't really like, and I just don't know if it's going to taste bad. It's not going in my mouth. I just can't do it. I'll retch, I'll gag. It's ridiculous. The first time I drank it, my daughters stood by watching because they thought it was going to be hilarious. No, it's not bad at all. It's kind of sweet. It's a tiny bit citrusy. It was
Hmm.
nothing,
Yeah,
nothing.
I'm not a matcha person either, but it didn't bother me in the least.
No.
And the
And
benefits,
it's just a mouthful. It's not a lot. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm sold.
just shoot
I'm
her
I'm
down.
pretty amazed. Yeah.
That's great. Well, check it out at magicmind.com/truecrime20.
Hmm.
We'll also put that link in our show notes if you're not right by a place to write that down, or if you're not watching where we have it up on the screen, so that you can check it out too, because we
Yeah.
highly recommend it.
Yeah. Get
All
some stuff
right,
done.
Katie, I think we're going to kick the mic to you for some WTF news.
Yes. What in the Taylor business is going on?
Or should we say Taylor show what? I could think of like 20 versions of this after you told me.
The
But
Taylor show why? So
yeah.
Taylor's business, if you don't know, we've talked about this case a few times, but is at trial right now, and it is. We figured this trial would be a doozy, and it is not disappointing. So
Oh,
Taylor,
and yet it is
yeah,
an inhumanity, or just her, I
mhm.
guess.
Taylor murdered a lover named Shad Therion, and they were on meth. They were pretty freaked out. She was obviously. She choked him during sex and killed him and then dismembered his body in his mother's basement and then left his head in a bucket for his mom to find.
Oh
Shad was
God.
24. Later, his torso, penis, and carved out organs were found in the basement.
I
And
mean, what?
yeah, that's the basis of it. There's been some really gruesome arguments back and forth in court about what could be used. But one of her charges was sexual assault because she actually continued to pleasure herself with the penis for quite a while after it was dismembered from his body. And
I
his,
mean, this
yeah,
person is so depraved that
it's unreal.
it is.
It is truly unreal. And his attorney or her attorneys were arguing that you can't really consider that to be sexual assault because he wasn't even in his body. He was dead, so that's not sexual assault, which I thought was the grossest argument I've ever heard.
And
But
should probably just never be said out loud. I mean, can you imagine deciding that, oh, this is what we're going to say to the judge?
mhm.
What?
She's been through a couple of attorneys now because nobody really wants to represent her. Because early
Mm-mm.
on, she tackled one of her attorneys and attacked him and had to be wrestled to the ground by the law enforcement officers in the courtroom to save him from her. And so the beat marches on now with her in court. One thing I learned about her that I thought was the weirdest shit I've ever heard. At the time that she was arrested, she was married. She's still married. Her husband was in prison. His name was Warren Shabau, but she changed her name to Schabusiness. You got Shabau and Schabusiness. What? What?
Well,
What's
when we talked
happening?
about this case the first time, we're like, where is that a real name? Does anyone else have that name? That's so strange. Well, now we know. No, it isn't. She made it up.
Well, Warren Shabbat is out now. He is now Schabusiness, in case you're wondering. This is what Warren said. He
What?
tweeted this. Probably Facebooked it. It's too long for Twitter or X or whatever we call Twitter these days. He
It's
said,
X, which is weird as hell.
"Nothing anyone says can bother me. I'm still breathing with my head on, lol." hmm
Wow, Warren.
My
Strong beginning.
wife, Taylor Schabusiness, might be locked up for a long time slash forever, but that doesn't change the fact that she's my wife. I'm always going to stand behind her no matter what. Fuck anyone who has anything to say about my empire, because right now all that matters is my wife is okay. I look forward to making sure she gets the best lawyer and treatment she deserves. Shade gave her drugs, which caused all of this. Sure, it was his fault. If drugs were never given to her, she would still be at home. But guess what? Life took a turn for everyone. Now we all have to deal with the situation in our own way, which isn't good for anyone. Right now, I'm just finishing off these last 10 months. Then I'll be home. Oh, he was still locked up. Then I'll be home to take care of business. Don't you mean business, Warren?
Right? I mean, you missed a real moment there.
Until then, the world can keep talking shit. Doesn't bother me any because I still have my wife. She's still breathing. Well, Taylor Schabusiness, keep your head up, stay strong, stay positive, and continue praying. Oh, yes, do that for sure. Never forget, our bond is stronger than the world, and our empire no one understands till it's too late to understand. Shabusiness is the only way. All right, then. I love you and miss you so much, baby boo. Ride or die till death do us part. He really said that. I didn't make that up.
So
Shapart.
what the fuck?
So
Also, shouldn't it be Shempire just to go with the theme? Because what the hell empire does this dumbass have? He's sitting in prison.
yeah, you can keep
Jesus.
your empire there, Warren. Nobody she wants it. Uh, but now she's been in court for a few minutes, and I've got a few greatest hits here for you, if you can call them that.
Oh boy.
Some of them are just watching her laugh while testimony is read. There is a short clip of the judge. I just wanted you to see his shell shocked face. Uh, because he looks like he definitely has to go home and drink tonight. And also a moment where one of her friends talks about them visiting and uses a really unfortunate uh, choice of words. So we'll
Oh, wow.
watch.
Picture of it. Photos can be helpful. They can, and so I understand that argument. The doctor could just simply describe everything, but the question is this going to be helpful to the jury, and will the prejudicial effect outweigh the probative value? I don't think so. I do think it'll be helpful to the jury, and so for those reasons, I'm going
This is where they're trying to decide whether or not they should show the jury pictures of the head in the bucket. She thought that was hilarious.
a little clear, and I'm going to afford the attorneys an opportunity to talk now that I've clarified.
That's her shooting finger guns at the judge.
Along the lines of clearer for me, not exceedingly clear, but a little clear. And I'm going to afford the attorneys an opportunity to talk now that I've clarified things.
Bring all of the evidence. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't rush to judgment. Please keep an open mind. Listen to all the facts. Listen to what every witness has to say carefully.
Specifically, when I got there, we were just chilling, chopping it up, like how we always do. And basically, I was like, Taylor was asking like, do you wanna hang out with Shad? She was asking me like for consent to hang out with Shad, to bring him over, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, that's cool. And so.
Could I stop you right there? I'm sorry. I just have a quick question. So when you said you were at the apartment, which apartment?
Chopping it up?
What? Sure, what?
So why would you say that? What?
Right? Also, who was she flirting with? Did you see her making eyes at somebody? What the? And then finger gunning the judge over and over.
Hmm.
What?
So these are the things that Taylor Schabusiness is doing in court. Uh,
Mm.
it would be funny, except for that there's a victim, and there's his
Absolutely
poor mother who
horrendous.
got to find his head in a bucket. There's Taylor. There's also tapes of Taylor telling the police officers how much she enjoyed killing him, and that she continued to have sex with him for quite some time because she was still enjoying it.
God.
There's also some pretty serious mentions of her deep love of Jeffrey Dahmer. Search history of her, searching out a bunch of Jeffrey Dahmer stuff, particularly Jeffrey Dahmer walking into court all sexy. Yeah.
What?
It's actually even more gory and terrible than I even mentioned, but that's as far as we're going today. But anyway, we will keep a eye on this belligerent turd circus because holy shit, this is something.
This is bullshit. This is
Mhm.
if Letitia Stout and Daryl Brooks had a baby.
Mhm.
That's Taylor
Mhm.
Schabusiness.
Yep. So,
Not
prison for you, Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, Prison forever.
Mhm.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about I give us a little bit of breaking news?
Well, okay then.
Well, I didn't do this on purpose, but this is Sinead O'Connor. I know. It's terrible. I'm sorry. I just had it in my head as I was thinking her name. I was like, oh, why did I put these segments next to each other?
Well, you didn't know.
I didn't, but no.
And all hail Queen Sinead.
Yes.
May she rest
So
in peace.
unfortunately, Sinead O'Connor has passed away.
Yeah.
She was 56 years old. Why are we talking about Sinead O'Connor on a true crime podcast? Well, I will tell you why.
For
Because
a very
Sinead
good reason.
O'Connor is a serious badass.
Mm-hmm.
And Sinead O'Connor basically got canceled
Mm-hmm.
in 1993 because in a performance on Saturday Night Live, which might tell you if you're young and don't know who Sinead is, would tell you what level her career was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
She was singing an a cappella version of the song War by Bob Marley. And during the song, she tore up a photo of Pope John Paul II.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, fight the real enemy.
Yep.
This was her response to the Catholic Church's cover up of sexual abuse of children.
Yeah.
Now, that was at the very early times of like all of these cases coming out where
Right.
Sex offenders were protected and sex abuse was covered up. She was right at the beginning of it.
Right. Right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Not of it happening, but of us really knowing about it.
Right. Exactly. So this is when it was just barely being talked about. And, you know, it really hurt her career in some ways and really didn't in other ways.
Yeah.
Because then we all really knew who Sinead O'Connor was. And she
Right.
worked her whole life as an activist.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
she, she had a lot of psychological problems. She experienced tons of abuse
Mm-hmm.
as a child. She said it was a torture chamber, really, but I forgave my mother. She just wasn't well.
Mm-hmm.
She ran away to live with her father when she was 13 years old.
Yeah.
Then she was sent to a Magdalene asylum. Now, remember, she's Scottish.
Right.
For unruly women for 18 months because she was caught shoplifting. Unruly women.
Unruly women.
15 at the time they sent her there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that tracks.
She struggled a lot with bipolar disorder as well as CPTSD, borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
She had a lot of challenges in her life.
Yeah.
thanks to the abuse that she experienced as a child.
Yeah.
But she never stopped fighting for
No.
victims of sexual abuse, and particularly victims of religious sexual abuse.
Yep. Yep.
And I just wanted to just hats off to Sinead. I'm sorry that she left this world so early,
Yep.
but she did a lot for those early reports of sexual abuse and really got a lot of people looking at the Catholic Church and what was going on there.
Yep.
And it's led to information about a lot of other churches as well.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yep. And
So
she was
hats off to
treated so
Sinead.
poorly
She was.
for what
Definitely.
she said, and she was right all along.
She was. All right, we're going to wrap this up with a little WTF news.
Okay.
Well, friends, Kevin Spacey has been found not guilty of 12 counts of alleged sexual assault against 4 men between 2001 and 2013. This was in London.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if Spacey did this or not, but Spacey's sure getting a lot of accusations from a lot of places.
He sure is.
And-
Wow.
And it's concerning. It's really concerning.
Mm-hmm.
The verdict was handed down from the UK-based sexual assault trial.
Mm-hmm.
This was just today. Not guilty of 9 counts, and the other initial counts were struck out. So he, of course, is thrilled. I think the rest of us have a lot of questions. He has always denied the allegations against him.
Yeah.
But there have been lots of people come forward and speak out about their experiences with him. This is not the only ones.
Oh, yeah.
But he has been found innocent and is free to work, and says that there are many people ready to hire him as soon as he was exonerated, because his career tanked hardcore.
I kind of doubt that.
I know. I really do wonder how true that really is, of course, because of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his alleged victims are minors. I don't know. This doesn't sit right with me. It does not feel good to me. And I don't know. I guess we can all come to our own conclusions. But as far as legal culpability, he has been found not guilty in the UK.
Wow.
So that's why I call it WTF News, because I think we're all going, WTF about this. All right. Well, that's everything we have for you. Today is Wednesday. So if you're listening to this today, it's Wednesday. We do have case updates tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain. If it's another day, there's always a case updates at 7 p.m. Mountain on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
That's a thing we do. So it doesn't really matter if you're listening this Wednesday or any other Wednesday or any other day. The next Wednesday is going to be case updates. We have lots to talk about. We're going to talk about some trials that are going on, and a bunch of other stuff that's happening. So we want to come back for that. And Lori Vallow will be sentenced on Monday, July 31st.
Mm-hmm.
We will be there. Fingers crossed we get in, and we'll be live streaming that as well. So keep an eye on our channels. You're going to want
clear
to
your books
tune in
for Mondays, because they're saying it won't last more than a day, but it could last a good part of the day.
It could, yeah. So that's big news. We will be on it and there for it and share everything with all of you.
Absolutely.
So we want to say thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, leave a review where you can. All of those things help us to grow. And you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.